Okay, well, we're going to just go right to our next question that comes from Rachel. Rachel's question: our homeowner's insurance is now refusing to pay a claim for damages to some flooring in our lake house. How can we dispute this and get reimbursement? Thank you for your question, Rachel. So, Harry, do you want to answer?
Sure. I would say first thing I think you need to do is go out and get some other estimates. And I wouldn't just get one. I would get three, probably about two or three reputable estimates. And then at least you can do an average and you can see if your estimate, how it compares up and stacks up with theirs. Obviously, they're going to want to pay out as cheaply as they can. You want to make sure that the work that's going to be done is according to industry standards and sufficient enough to actually adequately fix your problem.
Okay, go ahead.
We had something happen to us many years ago when we moved into a house, and there was a leak and it messed up our hardwood floors, had to move out. And then the dispute, and let me tell you, when you start messing with somebody's house, it's really personal, and it can really we're not talking about a personal injury here, but we are talking about something that you have worked very hard to be able to afford, and it affects every member of the household. And so these may be a property claim technically, but it can be very personal and be very emotional to someone. And so when we had moved into the house, we had a leak and our hardwood floors had to be ripped up. And so the big dispute in my case was they wanted to just pay for a portion of the floor instead of, the whole hardwood floor. And to me, it was kind of like placing a red car with a blue bumper. It just didn't look right. And so that was what we ended up having a big dispute over. And after some time, we were able to get it resolved. But, we had to be out of the house for months while they ripped it up, while they saw the wood, while they got it dry. That process took a couple weeks to get the concrete slab dry again. And so, these are things that you don't anticipate or can't expect when you make a claim about your house, how taxing it is and emotional it is. Not to mention, you got to move out and find a place to live while they're doing all this work. You can't be in the house with all the sawdust and the crews in there. And it's not a good situation when somebody has to deal with that, much less a hurricane claim like these poor people on the coast have had to deal with before, where their whole house is demolished. And there's hundreds of people in the same boat. And it's just a terrible situation to deal with.
You stress so much around the emotional aspect. Does that weigh in any way with a proceeding with or an issue with your insurance company?
If it's a strict contract claim, it should not. But if you get into a claim where there might be punitive damages for an intentional or bad faith, which I think we may talk about at some point, it could. But on a strict, here's the damage to my bumper, you pay it. Generally, no, the mental and emotional won't get reimbursed, but it's there and it's real.
Yeah, I think that's more of a case by case basis based on the severity of the situation that's presented. But I had a similar situation to Rocky with some sewage issue, and it does no good to fix, say, the bottom of your driveway when the damage is causing more damage above the driveway, and you need the whole thing fixed. You don't just need a portion. So you want to make sure you get it all done at one time. Otherwise, it's going to lead to future problems as well.
That's right.